2 years of Biden and the goal has been revealed. The revival of the U.S. military industry will be fatal for the world. Biden, who is constantly in the middle of scandals inside the United States, has no other goal than the revival of the American military-industrial complex. Friday, January 20th, 2023, today that is, marked exactly 2 years since Democrat Joseph Biden was sworn in as the 46th President of the United States. Biden, who is constantly in the middle of scandals inside the U.S., has no other goal than the revival of the American military industry. The conflict in Ukraine was the ideal field for the U.S. administration to stimulate it, as other defense industries had emerged that rivaled the U.S. and were technologically more advanced in some areas. The dozens of weapons it's sending to Ukraine, the pressures on its NATO partners to increase military spending to 2% and above of GDP are solid elements of the goal of the Biden administration. The American administration was simply looking for reconstruction funding. The American determination is emphasized by the complete destruction of the relations between U.S. and Russia, the two largest nuclear powers, with disastrous consequences for the world. The renaissance of the military industry. The efforts of the U.S. leadership to cause a strategic defeat of Russia is leading the whole world to a catastrophic scenario, said the Russian ambassador to the U.S., Anatoly Antonov. According to the Russian ambassador, Moscow constantly warns Washington about the consequences of such a course. He also commented on the U.S. President Joe Biden's statement that Russia is using dangerous and reckless nuclear rhetoric. Antonov stressed no one in the Russian political and military leadership has ever spoken in such a way. He called such statements empty and irresponsible. He also added that the U.S. and its allies have launched an all-out hybrid war against Russia. And according to him, the war is being fought on Russian soil. At the same time, Washington acts as the main beneficiary of this war because it profits by forcing NATO partners to finance the revival of the American military-industrial complex. U.S.-Russia relations are now at a historic low. Joe Biden's 2-year tenure as U.S. president so far is shaping up to be disastrous, even fatal for the planet. At present, it has proved disastrous for the relations between Moscow and Washington, as stated by the official spokesman of the Kremlin, Dmitry Peskov. Bilateral contacts between Russia and the U.S. have reached their lowest point in history, he said. Moreover, there is no hope for an improvement in relations in the near future, Peskov added. The last 2 years of the Biden presidency, despite the faint hopes associated with Geneva, have been very bad for our bilateral relations. Bilateral relations are at the lowest point in their history, unfortunately, he noted. Earlier, U.S. officials said Biden would be ready to hold talks with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, if Moscow showed determination to negotiate. This is from bankingnews.gr, and I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.